I'm not going to even bother doing my intro. I'm here to talk, crew. I hope in your world all is well. However, breaking news. I'm sure you guys have seen it. If you have not seen it, Charlie Kirk, he is a conservative activist, was unalived today. I don't even know if I can say assassinated, but it appears to be that. Um, what I will say is that I have been talking about this before for those who have been following me for quite some time, that we are now in a world where people have lost their everlasting minds. Not saying that this wasn't the case before, but I told you guys during the election time, a little bit before that, and even after that, that I just felt the energy just did not settle well with me on both sides. I expressed that 50 times over, that on the conservative and the liberal side, there were just a lot of people who appeared to be unhinged. Charlie Kirk was a conservative activist. I believe there were times where he actually toured with Candace Owens as well. And he had very strong Christian principles. He did not believe in a lot of things, such as the LGBTQIA community. He also was a pro-Trump supporter. But I don't care what his views were. From my understanding, Charlie Kirk never harmed anyone. I don't even remember Charlie Kirk really giving hate speech. And what I mean by hate speech, I mean that you are trying to put harm on someone. He had his views. And for the life of me, I do not understand how and why people's different views should turn out this way. 31 years old, married with 2 young children. And we are so desensitized in this world at this point that people are literally sharing all over the place the moment that he was taken out. I don't want to say too many trigger words. It was only one shot that took him out, which tells me that that person knew exactly what they were doing. They knew exactly what they were doing. But it's disturbing to see this video all over the place. It's disturbing to see the video of them carrying him out. It's disturbing. Our world is disturbing. It is disturbing at this point. And we've already seen on social media that trolling back and forth, people on social media literally willing to take someone's life. We just saw that not too long ago in Las Vegas over trolling back and forth. Now we have people with their views being assassinated. And I can say that word because he was a political activist on a different side than I guess some would like. Because let's be clear, this could happen on any side. Because like I said, there are people who are just unhinged on all sides at this point. I am just blown away by this. I didn't agree with everything that Charlie Kirk said, but I would never wish anyone to be unalived. And this just shows you how wicked and evil our world has become. It's evil and it's wicked. And it was just like with a Martin Luther King, a Malcolm X. I don't care what you feel their views are. No one deserves to be taken out. I am going to play this video. This was him literally probably minutes, if not seconds, before it happened. Huge crowd. He had a YouTube, well, he still has a YouTube channel with over 3 million subscribers. He had a following, but is it a following that could really shift a lot of what's going on in the world? I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Charlie Kirk's following is the primary reason that Trump won the presidency. So I don't know if that person was upset thinking he was the primary reason. I don't think he was the primary reason. It took multiple people. They don't even have the suspect. They thought it was a older man. We saw pictures of them arresting him, but apparently they have released him. I know not they haven't released him. Apparently they've arrested him for obstruction of justice, if I'm not mistaken. So he did something to actually get handcuffed and get booked, but they do not suspect him anymore as being the one who did this. That person is still on the loose. He or she is out there. They are suspecting that it's only one person. But I'm going to play this and we can actually just get a little bit. I'm going to have to pause it in between, you guys. I'm going to have to pause it in between because, of course, we are dealing with actually, like news. And I don't know if they'll try to flag me. Hopefully they wouldn't. But in this day and age, who knows? But let me go ahead and play this. And please put the thumbs up if you guys are able to hear it.
As we continue following this breaking news at 5 o'clock, conservative political activist Charlie Kirk has died after being shot, and the shooter is still not in custody. We know Kirk was speaking at an outdoor event at Utah Valley University, where he was invited by a student group.
And video shows
violence. Great.
Yeah, video shows the moment the shot rang out. Eyewitnesses described seeing blood pouring from his neck and people screaming, running for their lives.
Everyone immediately started screaming. The security guard next to Charlie grabbed him, pulled him down. They ran back. People started fleeing.
Kirk, a polarizing political figure, and his visit had been controversial. A petition had been circulating online asking for the university to stop him from speaking. But this was the first stop on a 14-city American comeback tour.
President Trump posting moments ago, sending his sympathies to his family and saying he admired Kirk. Kirk was described as a powerful force for the Trump administration, a so-called youth influencer. He was a rising star for the party and someone the president turned to for advice.
We have several reports tonight, starting with Eyewitness News reporter Dan Krauth in the newsroom with more on this search for the shooter that continues at this hour. Dan.
Mike and Shade, right now, police and the FBI are on the ground searching for the gunman in Utah who is still unaccounted for. The person was just about 200 yards away at the time of the shooting. Charlie Kirk was considered an extended member of President Trump's family and continuously praised for getting young people to vote in the 2024 election. It was the first stop on Charlie Kirk's fall speaking tour called the American Comeback Tour at Utah Valley University. He was answering a question about gun violence when a gunman fired a single shot from the crowd. We stopped the video before the shot was fired.
The odds of him talking about pow pow violence and all of a sudden that happens to him. That's not by happenstance. That person wanted to make sure probably at that particular time, that's when he or she did it.
As he was hit, he fell backwards, went to the side. The audience went to their knees.
I saw all the crowd running as fast as they could, and I was worried about people trampling each other. And I saw two college-age girls one was having a panic attack.
Kirk founded Turning Point USA, a conservative youth organization, and has millions of followers on social media. His speaking engagements at campuses have been tense before, sparking protests and counter-protests, but nothing like this. It was an open-air event today that was not limited to just students, something former NYPD Chief of Detectives Robert Boyce says was a big problem.
Is it open to outside people? And that's something you can't control. Secondly, going back to the outside venue, and a controversial person speaking in any way, with any kind of petition, any outside threats, we don't know right now. You really can't have it outside. You have to have a door to control.
Congressional leaders on both sides of the aisle are condemning political violence and calling for prayers. The governor of Utah, where the event took place, saying those responsible will be held fully accountable. Violence has no place in our public life. There was a moment.
I'm going to continue to play it, but here's another thing that's quite interesting. We know what happened to Trump during his campaign. I believe that was in Pennsylvania. If I'm not mistaken, I actually did a video on that and said the same thing. I don't care what his views are. No one deserves that to happen to them. But I find it interesting that even after that, they still allowed outside events like this when you really think about it. So I don't know if that was Charlie's doing, that, you know, wherever you can just put me, go ahead and put me there. But I think at this point, this is going to change the whole game, even though it should have changed it last year, that there will be no more outside events. It will be very controlled. It will be, they're going to check everything. You know what I mean? They are going to check everything. They are going to check in between your toes at this point to make sure you're not bringing anything in. But I just hearing this, I'm very shocked that people who are strong activists on either side, but especially right now because of who is in control on a conservative side, that they would even still allow outside events. And knew a bunch of people. Oh man, Daisy, are they okay? I know a lot of people are rattled. Unfortunately, I did see one girl, and it could have been because of her nerves. I saw one girl, she almost seemed like she was kind of smirking and laughing. I'm just gonna pray on that and hope that she was just nervous and didn't know how to respond. But if any of that smirk and laugh was intentional, let me tell you something. One thing about it, I don't wish anything bad on anyone, because that same energy can come right back to you. It can come right back to you.
Moment of silence held for Kirk on the House floor in D.C. just about 5 minutes ago. What happened here today will no doubt change the way outdoor events are held moving forward, and we'll continue to follow what happens. Reporting live in the newsroom, Dan Crowell, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Dan, thank you. You could hear the gasp on the House floor when the announcement came that he had died. Well, at only age 31, Charlie Kirk became a powerful source for the Trump administration, someone who is trusted by many in Trump's inner circle.
In fact, Charlie Kirk was somebody who pushed for J.D. Vance to be selected as the president's running mate and ultimate vice president. So how did he rise to such prominence at such a young age?
Lindsay Tuckman picks up that part of our coverage. Lindsay?
Yeah, he really did have a great deal of influence, and it's just horrifying news. Charlie Kirk was a conservative firebrand, and while not in the government, he had become a confidant of President Trump. And despite his polarizing opinions, there was quick bipartisan prayer for Charlie Kirk today. Charlie Kirk, the well-known right-wing commentator and co-founder of Turning Point USA, a nonprofit.
And look at, he was under that tent, you guys. He was under that tent. So wherever that person was, they had a good aim. And in my opinion, they knew what they were doing, because it's not like he was really that open. Yes, he was, but at the same time, you know, he was under the tent. It wasn't like a Trump situation where Trump was kind of out, you know. It couldn't have been anyone really on top of a building that was taller than that tent. It's interesting. It's really interesting at this point on where this person was when this happened.
Profit that advocates for conservatism on high school and college campuses. The 31-year-old originally from the Chicago suburbs and became involved with politics at an early age. The father and one of the MAGA movement's most influential voices. He is known for his strong opinions on controversial topics, which he shares to his more than 5 million followers on X, as well as his podcast and YouTube channel, The Charlie Kirk Show.
The Democrat Party is the party of crime.
Kirk has been an avid supporter of Donald Trump and his presidency, getting involved with events supporting his candidacy early on and becoming friends with the Trump family and the White House inner circle. Ahead of the 2024 election, he worked to bring young people out to vote. Trump was seen publicly with Kirk on stage at Turning Point USA's America Fest last December after his election win. Trump calling him there a, quote, amazing guy. Here's ABC News' John Santucci.
That this is a guy that was entering center stage for young conservatives, really pulling them into the party, right? The GOP that was the grand old party, Kirk was really injecting youth into this party.
Just yesterday, Kirk was a guest on Fox News, sharing his thoughts on violence in America and the role he believes the media plays in it.
Bad policing practices, consent decrees, opening up the prisons. As you say, $3.3 million is an outgrowth of a media narrative lie. So it's not just an innocent media narrative lie. Real policies get put into place when you don't challenge this nonsense in the public square.
And again,
not to mention, he literally just posted like maybe 7 hours ago on his YouTube page. I went to his YouTube page and literally it said like the last video that was posted was 7 hours ago. So literally hours before he was gone, he posted, or I don't know if his team posted. I'm sure he has a team maybe of some sort. But yeah, very eerie, very scary.
Today's event was part of Kirk's American Comeback Tour, where he was visiting university campuses across the country to speak and debate on political talking points. And guys, he was known for his debates. He shared them on social media, where he went one-on-one with other students, young people, experts, and activists. And they were controversial topics such as LGBTQ rights, immigration, gun rights. But really, he was known for welcoming that kind of open dialogue and open debate and conversation.
You wanted to hear that opposing view and engaged voters. Okay, Lindsay, thank you so much. Well, a short time ago.
Yeah, he wanted to hear that opposing view. And that's the thing. He wanted to hear that opposing view. He had no problem hearing that opposing view. The problem is, and I feel like this is what's going on in our country or just in general, people don't like to be wrong, or people don't like to hear their opposing, like they don't like to hear that their views may be either incorrect or people are against their views. That's what we're dealing with at this point. We are truly dealing with people who lose it when people don't agree with how they think and what they say. And at a certain point, it's like, it's okay to have a difference of opinion where you don't have to pick up something to try to harm someone. Period. And so I would be curious to see who this person was, who did it. Hopefully they would actually get the person who did it. I'm disturbed by this, crew. I'm disturbed. I'm really disturbed by this. He didn't deserve that. I don't care. I don't care. He did not deserve that. I know what some of his beliefs were. Like I said, I've seen him. I think I saw him maybe 1 or 2 times doing a debate. I feel like he did a debate with Candace one time, and I felt like I was getting kind of annoyed and not agreeing with what they said or whatever the case may be. I believe it was about slavery or something of that nature. But all I simply did was I just closed out the video. That's all. I mean, I just closed out the video and said, no, I don't agree with that. And, it is what it is. And there are times where I've allowed him to finish his whole viewpoint and still didn't agree with it. And I just kept it moving. I would never literally get that worked up to where I would do something insane like that. The devil is busy and is definitely using people at this point to do whatever. This is chaos. And the sad part about it is I just don't know if this will ever end. I just don't know if this will ever end. And let me make this very clear. I don't know if this will ever end no matter who's in office. Because, see, a lot of people want to assume this is going on because the conservatives are in control. Think again. You don't think that if it turns around within the next 4 years and then now the liberals take over again, that you're not going to have people on the conservative side upset? Like, seriously, at this point, think about it. And of course, both sides think that both sides is more loonier than the other. But the reality is there are people on both sides who are literally choosing violence at this point than really just trying to have a civil conversation and just simply say, I agree to disagree. Now, again, I didn't agree with everything he said, but I don't ever remember him even saying anything completely just out of pocket. Like I don't even remember hearing him. And again, I was not a faithful viewer of his. So for those who may listen to this, they can let me know. But I believe he was a Christian man who has strong Christian values. I don't even remember a soundbite or any video of him condemning people to hell. I don't even remember that coming out of his mouth. He would give his views based off of his beliefs. He would love to hear a different viewpoint. And he would never, of course, agree with the other viewpoint, but he loved to hear other people's viewpoints. But it's so interesting that hearing other people's viewpoints at this point could turn deadly. Or having different views can turn that way. This is insanity. And honestly, for anyone who actually agrees with this, or anyone who actually smirks about this, or even says that's what he gets, or anything like that, by all means, this is not the channel for you. And I say that with love. I say that with love. I don't condone anyone who truly feels like this is acceptable. This is not acceptable. He should not have lost his life for different views. Now, unless something else comes out that we are not aware of, but I still cannot fathom what in that person's right mind, what would be the reason besides this man having different views. Prayers to his family. Prayers to his family, prayers to his babies. I mean, he literally has babies. I don't even think any of those kids are even the two kids hit elementary school yet. Like, he has babies. This is giving me vibes of all the stuff that happened in the 60s. All the assassinations that happened then. And all of these political leaders leaving babies behind. It's sad. It's sad. It's sick. It's demented. I have friends who are part of the communities that he was against. And I can tell you right now, they wouldn't even condone this. They I have friends who are peaceful. Like, at the end of the day, they just don't want you to try to harm them in any way or try to do anything for, against their livelihood and stuff like that. But you may have a difference of opinion, or you may not agree with their lifestyle. Oh, okay, that's your opinion, but I'm gonna continue to live my life, So I don't even see, you guys are saying Candace F. I don't even see a Candace comment. So I don't know where that comment is. I know you said hi, Candace D, but I don't even know where it is. Did you delete it or something? Because I see retired on here. That's not entirely true, and I'm not a fan of his, but misinformation is a dangerous thing. Okay, whatever happened to that comment, clearly I can't see it. So I don't know if D erased it, but at the end of the day, I'm sure there are going to be people who sickly are going to be celebrating this. No, not for me. I'm not perfect. I like to joke. I like to have fun, but I would never, ever joke and have fun at someone's expense as far as their life is concerned. Yeah, that's not me. I do believe in a higher power, Yahweh God, and I know there's definitely when you get happy about stuff like this, you got to answer. You got to answer. Wow. I just feel like at this point we are taking even more of a dangerous turn in this world, especially in the United States of America. I am nervous about what's to come, but that's where my faith and my prayers come in. Because I just, at this point, it is almost like you cannot have a difference of opinion. You can't stand up for what you believe in anymore. Isn't that interesting? That you can't stand up for what you believe in anymore without being attacked or even worse. We're in a sad situation, you guys. But I just wanted to share that and share my opinion on the situation. I saw that video. It was so disturbing. My heart dropped. Them carrying him out, my heart dropped. I didn't even really see a lot of security around him. It's just the whole setup was weird. The whole setup is weird, but I'll tell you this, it's not going to happen again. Well, God forbid it doesn't happen again. I think at this point, they're really going to put the smack down on these type of events. The worst part is when someone like something like this happens, and domino effect for copycats who want to do the same thing. Well, I mean, look at the times of what they did to Trump last year. Trump had 2 attempts. One was in Pennsylvania, if I'm not mistaken, the one that grazed his ear. And then he had another attempt at Mar-a-Lago, if I'm not mistaken, on a golf course, if I'm not mistaken. So, you know, this is why it puzzles me why they would still do outside events like this. And again, it could have been that he wanted it that way. I don't know, or he was just so happy that, you know, he was getting invited to these colleges. What I do know is that he always kind of had those sit downs. This is not the first time he's had an outside event. A lot of the videos that I've seen him on, he will always be outside under a tent and allowing students to walk up and debate him. That was kind of how he did his thing. Before Trump situation last year, and they said this was the start of his tour. I don't know if he had not been on tour for quite some time. But it boggles me that this event would be outside, because something is telling me, and I don't know if the Holy Spirit is speaking to me right now, but something is telling me this man was probably receiving threats. He probably was getting hate mail like no other. He probably was. Yeah. So, you know, and again, I don't know if this was his doing the way he had it set up, because he has had it set up like that in the past, but people can't take that type of stuff lightly anymore. I'm sorry. You can't. And it's not about being afraid. It's about being cautious so you can be there for your family. Now his wife and his babies, she's a widow and they're fatherless. 31. But I don't care if they were 81. It shouldn't happen. He may have felt protected. From my understanding, he was a man with strong Christian values. So maybe in his mind, he was like, God got me. And the reality is this: a lot of people may say, I'm just not in a process of saying this right now, and it's going to take me some prayer tonight. But, you know, of course, when they say it's your time, it's your time. When God calls you home, God calls you home. Because we have seen people who have had that type of stuff happen to them and they still made it. So I just got to pray on that. I got to pray on that. Because, you know, having faith in God is when you don't even understand what's going on. And that's the thing about faith. Having faith means when you don't even understand, when it doesn't even make any sense. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to have to pray on this tonight. And try to get clarity and understanding about what just happened. But I'm feeling for his family right now. I don't know, this just seems so untimely to me and so unnecessary for this man to lose his life. And from what I see, it's just based off of him having different views. Now, a lot of people are going to say this was a lot of his religious views also, but he had strong political views and religious views. The reason for this, who knows if it was both sides or just one side. He was a Christian man who had his belief based off of biblical, what, should be and not be. And he had his political views as well. It could have been a mixture of both. It could have been a mixture of both. God bless his family. God bless the people that were there that are going to be traumatized for the rest of their lives. Let's be clear. Seeing something like that right in front of your face, that is not something that is just going to be a walk in the park. It's not. And the way his body kind of, it was disturbing. I'm really gonna have to pray and seek guidance on this one. But thank you guys for listening. We definitely have to move smarter, not in fear, but smarter. And stay prayed up. Like, I don't know about y'all, but I've definitely have really gotten back into just my relationship with God. Because these times feel different. And I know people always say that, or people always say that the times are different, but times are different. And however you feel that's going to create that peace in your world, I know what creates peace in my world, but whatever creates peace in your world that's healthy, by all means do it. Because this world will have you having high, severe anxiety, depression, and everything else in between. You have to find that peace and that mental clarity. But with that being said, you guys, I love you guys. Just be vigilant, be aware. Of course, we have a big date tomorrow, which ironically, this happened the day before. So, of course, there's ceremonies that are going to be for that tomorrow too. Just, be careful. But at the same time, just stay positive. Try your best to, make sense of this where you can try to have peace with it. But with that being said, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will see you on my next